Okay, now watch your language. I heard you cussing before.
Potty mouths.
Not me.
So this
yet.
class is on some basic
Keyword.
video editing. And this is a difficult class to try to figure out how we want to approach it. So I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios. Let's say you're doing a 1-minute video for Instagram and you want to, and that's all you're doing, something quick, something quippy. You don't need a lot of special effects or anything else. What you should do is when you start recording, wait a moment or two, just so that the recording gets started before the audio does, and you're able to post it directly without editing anything. If you want to do a little bit longer video and you want to maybe adjust the color or something to that effect, like Tracy did yesterday for our recruiting video. Did you guys see it on Facebook yet?
Is that the one you had me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. She did that entirely on her phone. She added the titles on it. Took her about 20 minutes, you said?
To finish the editing
And all of your phones are going to have some sort of edit down at the bottom. On Androids, it looks like a little pencil. And you click on the pencil and it gives you options. Do you want to trim, which looks like scissors? Do you want to change the color, which usually looks like 3 dots? And you can click on it and it's not where you adjust it for one frame or anything. It's like, here are several different ways that you can recolor it. Do you like this color, this one, this one? That's it. It's very simple. The titles are what take you a little bit longer. Okay. Let's say you want to do a video for a pre-listing video that you send out to everybody. It could be 3 or 4 minutes. It could be a little longer. You might want a title page on it. You might want to change the audio on it. You might not want to do those things. Brenda does very good videos. Just right in her phone. She waits a minute. She talks in it and she's done. But if you want to get fancier, it's next to impossible to do that on your phone. I mean, to add titles and all of or a title screen and that kind of stuff. Could be done, but you got to get into recording a separate video of the title screen and adding it and so on. So I'm going to show you some a little bit more advanced things today if you choose to do this.
Hold on a minute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by a title page? Do you mean like
But
a thumbnail on?
No.
You know, at the beginning of some videos, it'll have Lynn Landrian talks about and has pretty background,
Okay.
and then it fades into you talking on screen.
Okay, I guess I haven't noticed that. Okay.
Huh?
I haven't noticed that.
Well, there are some people that do that, or they have a thumbnail that pops up that says, you know, there's one guy we looked at last week that had a pretty picture of him screaming into the microphone, and you click on it, it starts there, and then it goes into a spiel. And I'm going to show you some of that in a minute. And you can get really, really deep into this stuff. So you have to be careful about how much time you actually want to spend on videos. Does everybody have a video on their phone? Not everybody even has their phone here.
And mine's in my office.
Yeah, I mean, I could open up my phone, but then we have to pass it around. I can't really show you online. I will.
Can you screen share?
Not from your phone.
Not from my phone the way I want to. Not with all the other stuff I got open. And again, it's so much different. Do you have a Samsung? Do you have a Motorola? Do you have an iPhone? It's considerably different on what they do. iPhones, for example, have a really good movie maker already built into them. It's very nice, but I've never used it. I've got an iPad. I just have never played around with it. So the downside to me of doing what Tracy did yesterday is I have really big thumbs. And for me to type all that stuff in there, yeah, I don't do that well.
I use swipe to text because my thumbs don't work like that. So
And that works for you, swipe.
yeah, I don't use my thumbs on my phone.
There is software like Lynn has that will add every title on there for you, or the subtitles. Blink, I think is what you call it. And while that's nice, what if you don't want every single word you have said on there? And
Can edit it.
you can edit it and you can go on the phone, but again, there's some editing software that ends up doing that. And that's all kind of cool. But for me, yeah, Jason's here now. Hi, Jason. For me, what is difficult is that we record something on our phone and I want to edit it on my computer. I want to see it on a big screen. It's really hard to email out of your phone because the video files get so big. So for me, the priority was, how can I record something on my phone that I can look at other devices so I can edit on a big screen so I don't have to work off this little screen? That was what I set up in my mind. And I'm going. Hello.
Greg.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was gonna say for iPhone users, it's really easy to airdrop videos from one device to another. So if you're using an iPhone and maybe an iPad or you're off of your phone, you can airdrop them videos really easily from one device to the other to edit.
Absolutely. And that's an advantage iPhone has. And I have an iPad, so I might do that.
I'm gonna go get an iPhone.
iPhone suck.
But even on my iPad, and I'm sorry, Priscilla, I'm gonna jump down on that. Even on my iPad, to highlight something and get very precise, I like a mouse. And I don't, I could hook a mouse up, but I like my desktop. I really do. I'm sorry. It's just my preference. It also gives me a big screen. Now, right now, I can tell you that for our company last month, when people Googled our company, half of the people, 47%, used a mobile device to Google us. Now, whether that's their phone or iPad or whatever they're using. So maybe I'm kind of old fashioned even thinking I need to see it on the big screen, but that's just me. So here's what Greg did. I looked for something that has multiple. Movie Maker. Yep, it does make it easy. I look for software that works across
Share
multiple.
your screen.
Well, I'm
share
going
your-
to. I'm trying to close this down. Multiple devices it would work on, was well known in the industry. I did a lot of research to find the top 4. And I'm going to tell you now that all of them are what I call freemiums. Premium is software that lets you try it in the beginning or even use a limited set of devices, and then you have to start paying for it to get the full set. I know, it's the way it is. But I'm going to show you. Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
I apologize. I don't know if it's on your list or not, but Canva, if you guys use Canva, is the upgrades that they've made with the AI stuff, video making, and then even editing. And then on top of that, placing in your logos and brand names and that kind of stuff is phenomenal. And the free one works well.
I have Canva is on my list. So why don't we go to,
I have found Canva is very hard if you want to download it and print it from your own device instead of paying them to do it. It won't print correctly.
Can you save it as a PDF?
I'll be darned.
That's what it's doing. And it's not printing correctly.
I did something stupid earlier. I got to open it all up again.
Oh, no.
So Canva.
So while you're opening that, Greg, if you guys go to, whenever you download, either if it's a video or a portrait or banner or something that you're doing, if you download it, they have lines that say to stay within those lines. That helps to keep it where you want it to be. But to download it as, I think it's a not PDF, it's the other devices that you can, or the other systems that you can use, and that makes it really easy too. I wouldn't do PDFs off of there.
Well, and I'm gonna discuss some of that to give you mine overall, the pluses and minuses. pwing.com. And. Yeah, baby.
Glad you remembered all those.
I do. I've got a good memory.
What?
Yeah. Where is it? Right there. And then I want to go to. So I do have them set up in order that we're going to cover them, and then I'm going to talk about a few things. Right there. Okay, so let's start first with Canva. Let me shrink this down. Priscilla is correct that Canva has a bunch of stuff in it, including a video editor, which I didn't Google properly. So let me go back there and do that. Canva, Google, or video. So
What? There it is. Scroll down because you don't have Canvas spelled right. There we go.
So some of the things you can do on it are absolutely free. You can upload videos, you can do things and so on. Canva also has a whole lot of things that make PDFs and flyers and so on. However, I'm going to burst your bubble a little bit, and Priscilla already got there. But these are the kind of things you can do in it. I'm not going to demo it on purpose, but I did want to show you that they have some ways to add things. They have timelines, which all of these are going to have a timeline. You have one-click video effects, including a background remover. But notice where it says Pro, that means you get to pay.
Mhm.
Okay. So you can get really fancy with this. And a lot of you are going to say, I don't know if I want to do this. We're going to look at the editor I'm choosing, but the plans and pricing become, well, free or pro. Well, if you're going to do pro, see prices. This is $119 a year, period.
Which
Now,
what?
is that a lot of money for a year?
Isn't that $10 a month? Or am I
Roughly.
about? Okay.
Well, they're only showing here as a year, and they compare side to side. Well, you can do monthly, just $12.99.
That's what I pay.
So you can drag and drop. They have some templates. They have this kind of stuff, 5 gigs of storage. Over here, why did that pop up now? Sorry, I got to figure out which remote to use. And you can see all the stuff they have, including, as Priscilla named, the Magic Power Tools, an eraser. There's some cool stuff in here. But what you're basically getting is art and design. And as Priscilla said, and Tracy told me, they export PDFs really poorly. So if you want to make something in there, it looks nice and pretty, then you want to make a PDF out of it, so-so. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm giving you the comparisons. But there's a lot of things they do really well. And I like some of the branding kit and those other things that they have here. CapCut. When I did some web searches and all kinds of things, CapCut was always mentioned. So these next 3 were always mentioned.
They were always what?
Mentioned.
Hmm?
They were always what?
Mentioned as one of the top editors. And they do some very nice things, view all the templates, you can put the brand names in there, smart tools, speech to text. And that's kind of a nice little thing to have in there. I don't know that I like all the bubbles, but I don't know if I can change it. You can try some things, background removal, resize videos, and so on. But whenever I look at something like this and I can't find a price, I get nervous. Oh, another thing about this one and the one I prefer, they have an app on your phone and they have a desktop version, and they will share your work. So when I get to the Adobe product, if I recorded a video on my phone and I used the Adobe app on my phone, which worked very well, even let me do some Zoom and some other things I couldn't do on my phone before, it uploads it to the cloud and then it populates on my desktop at the same time. I don't have to go in and say I want to share it. It automatically shares. Okay. I know Tulio's looking at me like, really, Greg? What are you talking about? And it does have desktop, it does have mobile, and it's got an online editor. Those are all really nice. And you can sign up. But then I want to know if I'm going to try something for free, what do they charge me? Well, CloudSpace is monthly, $5.99. If you want to use their program, it's $7.99 as a monthly prescription, but you get 7 days for free. Or if you want to be a one-time pro, it's $44. Now, how all this adds up, I don't know. But I look at the pricing and I go, do I really want to screw around with all that? And you go through this and it's mostly a video editor. Canva, you have a lot of other things, some design products that make flyers and so on. Okay. Capwing, more content in less time. You can see some of the editing tools. They put a button in there. Then they're going to move that over. Then they're going to make it smaller. Then they're going to add things and so on. That timeline that we're talking about. And you have to get used to these timelines if you want to do some fancy editing. Tells you how to do it, how it's faster and so on. And then we've got all these things, creation, and they too have some nice little stuff you can put in. So let's look at their pricing. $16 a month, free to try it. And I don't even look at the enterprise. If billed annually, or if you want to go monthly, it's $24 a month. And again, I look at that and I say, man, I don't know that I want to spend that much. So let's come up to what Greg thinks he likes. And I'll tell you why, if I was going to spend money, I'd go this way. Adobe has been a very professional product for decades. Tracy's used Adobe Audition in radio stations, which is a standard of what radio stations professionally use. Adobe Premiere is used very often in television stations and stuff like that.
Yep.
And Premiere would be their full audio suite. You can mix, you can do all kinds of things that are going to be, you're going to go, do I really want to screw with that? Because the full Adobe Premiere is expensive, complicated, difficult to use. Adobe recently came out with a whole series of things called Adobe Express. But in Adobe Rush, just to look at this, your videos can work across all devices and they sync everywhere. You can do transitions, you can do titles. It shares right out of the app to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and something else. You can adjust the colors. It's got a cool thing where you can adjust speed. So if in the middle of a video that's, this long, you can shrink it down to this long and it'll come up and go zzz, and go to the next play.
Or super slow-mo and
Or
have some
super
Matrix
slow-mo.
type.
And again, it's free to start. For $9.90 a month, you get this stuff, but this really doesn't tell you all the story. Adobe Express oh gosh, where did I find that? Adobe Express, was it there? Come on. Okay, this is what I want. Adobe Express in general is a full photo editor, full video editor, and does all your PDF stuff. So Adobe Acrobat, you can split them, you can export them and that kind of thing, and a QR code. They have a lot of templates in there. So in essence, this is almost a Canva type product, but it's specific to PDFs and Adobe and formats that are used professionally. So I went ahead and used this for what I'm going to demo you today. If I was going to spend money, this would be cheaper than Canva. It does have a free version, and they have all kinds of different, what do you want to create today? And look at all of the things you can create. And again, it does photos, it does videos, and it does Adobe Acrobat. Try the free one first. So for free, let me see if I go buy now. Is that going to take me to where I want to go? Probably not. No. Come on. Oh, I remember why I'm there. If you're to look at all of the different things they do, I hope this is the right link. Nope, that's not. That's why I don't take you there. I would go here to Adobe Express if I were going to buy this, and I would do the Adobe Express for free. And it's going to ask you to sign up and all that stuff, and you can try it. And if you want to upgrade, I've got premium access because I'm already signed in. So, is everybody thoroughly confused now?
Yes.
Okay, great.
No.
I would do Adobe Rush if I were paying. I'm just saying that. If you're not going to pay, try all 3 or 4 of them for free if you want to get into this.
Mhm.
But here's what we can do. I'm not going to get over to here because I'm going to start with where I was before I created that. So what you're going to see now when I open up this video, and this video was on my desktop, I put it on my phone, I played with it on my phone and so on. You can see that I have this little line that goes across the video. I've got audio below it, and I can say I'm done with it right now and I'm finished. But remember, I said I wanted to add a title screen. If I want to add a title screen, it has all of these little controls over here. The reason I'm showing you this stuff is so you'll know you can get very complicated with this and spend all afternoon making one video. If you're going to do that, make sure you have a purpose for it, like a pre-listing video or something that is more in depth than a quick Instagram. Does everybody get that?
Mhm.
Now, on a quick Instagram, you can still do this kind of stuff, either as she did it or on the app, and add a title and send it out. But I'm going to get more fancy with this. Over here, I have graphics. I have effects. I'm not even messing with effects. I've got colors, the 3 round circles. I've got the speed. I've got audio. And so for now, let's say that I want to add,
Are these basic free ones?
not everyone is basic free. I've got the upgraded version.
Okay, but these little widgets that you're using.
They
right
are
now-
going to be in the free ones, and you can do some basic. But instead of having all the templates that Greg has, you're going to get more limited templates.
Mm.
I can't really sign in and get a free one because I already have the very expanded one. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. But when I clicked on graphics, or up here, and then I clicked on add graphics, it brought up these 3 columns over here. Or this column with 3 different things. I've got titles, I've got transitions, and I've got overlays. And I played with these all afternoon yesterday, trying to figure out what each one of them was. Oh, and by the way, she's professional at this. You're welcome. She came in and said, "You're not doing it right." And I said, okay. So if I want a title, remember, I can do all kinds of titles in here. And when I clicked on that, I can come down here and say, what do I want for a title? Well, I can do this one. Let's do this just to see what it is. If I bring this and put it over here at the beginning, it's not going to work right. Because there's nothing but a black box in the middle of that. Everybody understand?
Okay.
I'm going to take it out. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to click delete. I'm going to try to click delete. So that took it back out. What if I wanted a title? I didn't like that breaking news one because it doesn't work. And you can see I got a whole lot of them in here to choose from, but this is the advanced version. Oh, come on. Let's say I wanted to go with this one. I pick it up, I drag it over, and I put it in my timeline. And now at the beginning of mine, it says that. What if I want to change it? I click up here. I click up here. And I type. Now, Lynn, you were asking what a title was. If I play this video, by the way, see this little bar here? Wherever I put it is where the video is going to start. If I click the video now, why is it just going over and over again? I don't know.
It looks like it's you see how that orange is around it?
Yeah, but
It's
if I
not
put it,
attached to it, so maybe click on the orange part and then drag it to the left.
well, I did, and then it switched back to the other one.
Actually, click on the orange.
Every time I do it, it goes back.
Hmm.
So it's giving me a nice little fun thing here, and I don't know why. It may be that this is so hard to use or whatever it's doing. There it goes. So you see how it gives me a title.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of that for a minute again. And I'm going to do something entirely different. So let's get really fancy. I'm going to push this, which gives me all the control tracks. Now I can add 4 audio tracks. I can put more tracks in up here. So let's say, remember that one I had that had the box in it around it?
What is
This
a
one?
track?
Okay.
What is a track?
This track, thank you for the question. A track is an individual item, either audio or video, that I can add to the full finished one. Telling you, I'm getting pretty fancy now. So if I wanted to add this, I could bring it over here. And I put it at the top track. I want it here. And I want it to say something.
Like an overlay?
Yep,
So it's like a voiceover.
right. So now if I play this, let's hope. It's
I
trying to
see.
sync it to the cloud, so give it a sec. I love it when things work right.
When does that happen?
And then that overlay goes away. Try it again and see if it's a bit smooth.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Great. So then what I could do here is click on that title and I can name it. Sorta. You can see how fun this can be and how complicated it can be.
Mm.
On my computer, I have a separate video card. Like it's very, that means my video card works much better with this kind of program. Which is why I didn't have any problem with it yesterday.
Video card. I'm sorry, I have no clue.
I know.
I don't have any
It's
clue
a
either.
special part of a desktop computer that is integrated, separate. You load it into a port and it works separate from the motherboard's PCU.
I heard wah, 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 wah.
That was the answer though.
And you need to use your microphone so we can hear your wah, 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 wah.
It means that the computer is more powerful to work with video.
Laptops don't have video cards.
They
It's
do have video
integrated,
cards,
it's
but
not
they're
separate.
limited.
So my video card has dedicated memory to be able to handle things. Your computers are going to have singular memory. And again, I know I'm getting really complicated, but I want you to know that you're going to try some of these tools and you're going to get, wow, what's going on here?
I still say go free, use your phone, it works.
Yeah. But somebody sometime is going to ask me, well, how do I do blank? And I'm going to say, yeah, good luck. So this also has status overlay saved. I want to close that. I want to get the audio up. Basic, advanced, browse. Different audios I could put in here. So you know how, like how my beginning had no real sound underneath it? So I have sound effects I can put under. I guess where I'm going with all of this is it can get really complex really fast. And if you're going to try any of this, for instance, if I wanted a sound effect, let's do a different one, a different sound track. I want family fun, and I put it down here. Add it. Now family fun is put in there. If I play my video. And then I could come up here and using the tools, turn off, mute that track, and now I've just changed the music. Oops, turned off the wrong one, didn't I?
Yeah.
So somebody's going to ask, how do I change music? How do I do things like that? It's tools like this that allow you to.
Did you get all that music from? Is it already uploaded on there?
Yeah.
It's already in there in the program.
And so, and that is kind of the nice thing, it's already in the program.
Can you add different types of songs?
Yes. Can upload your own. Even better, let me move this little box here. If I've recorded something and I want to add my own audio on it, none of the phone's editors, Apple probably will, but the rest of them will not let you add a separate audio track. In here, I could use my microphone and record an audio track. So you see how it can get very complex very quickly. That's why a lot of people hire a college kid if you're going to do a long video. And I wasn't.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, or you could just pay someone, just saying.
So I'm saying all this to tell you, if I didn't show you at least some of this, somebody was going to ask me, well, how did they do blank?
Mhm.
Well, this is the kind of software you got to have to do voiceovers, different music. This has a control in it that will mute the music if it detects somebody talking. So it does all kinds of and this is the simple version. This isn't the Adobe Premiere full-blown version.
Which is so much fun to play with.
It is, if you want to spend the time to do it.
No.
So I guess my bottom line is on all of this,
Use your phone.
use your phone. If you want to try to play with some other ones, as Priscilla has talked about, she shares it through the iPhone. iPhone apps are wonderful. I would try some of these for free and see how you do with it before you sign up and pay anybody anything.
Oh, 100%.
I was gonna say too, Greg, sorry to interrupt you. This, honestly, I haven't tried this one before. I like Adobe as well. But this is definitely makes it really easy if you're making videos and slicing them, and all of those tools being accessible right there does, it looks like it's really easy to use once you dig into it.
It
And-
is easy compared to a lot of them. So she just said something about splicing a video. What if I wanted half this video, then I wanted another title screen, then I wanted the other half? You can cut it in half and move it and change it, and you can do a lot of really complicated things. But you have to ask yourself, how often are you going to do it, and you want to spend the time to learn it?
I know that you said that on this one, it shares directly to your social media, but let's say I do, I know there's other ones that, like, let's say the Movie Maker on the iPad. Is that easy to share? Like the video, is that easy to share?
Yes, you can do it straight from your also phone. Your phones have Movie Maker as well, and they go straight to your social media, or you can turn it into a link and share it to a website or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
So on this program, I come up to share, and I can share it locally, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I've not even heard of Behance. On your phone, it also goes to TikTok.
Oh.
So, and these are kind of like sign in once and it remembers you, and it just pushes right out. One button and it shares. This is a very powerful program. With power comes great responsibility, great learning curve, however you want to say it.
Can I use this? I know that not everything transfers from a desk, from like, what is I don't even know what the name is. From whatever the name is to a Mac. Can I open this and use this in Mac?
Yes, they have the Adobe Premiere, and Adobe Express has an app for Mac. It has an app for desktop. It has an app for iPhones. It has an app for Android, all of them. In fact, I looked at the app for iPads, and sometimes apps for iPads look like a little phone. No, it's a full one. So when I said I was looking for something that went across all platforms, was relatively easy to use, has tremendous power, this is it. But there is a learning curve. You have to think about, where do I want? So if I were to come right here, let's say, and cut it, and then I want to put an effect back in it, and I wanted a transition, let's say, and I put that in there. Now I've got a transition right in the middle. Well, it didn't cut it, did it? Come on, split it in half. I can move this over and add a dissolve, a transition. Let's get out of transitions. What fun, huh? Look how I stretched that out. Oh, I know, it's covered behind. So if I wanted to add a graphic in there, I could theoretically put a title screen in the middle. And now I've just taken my video and gone from that to a title screen to the next one. So these are the kind of programs that you got to get into if you're going to get into these complex moving, shifting, and so on. So let's go back to Lynn's listing video for a minute. Hi, I'm Lynn Landry, da 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 da. Then she puts a title screen in. It says, getting your house ready to sell. Then she has a next movie or tip or so on that's got more video. And you can add up to 4 lines of video here on these tracks. and up to 3 lines of audio on the bottom tracks. Exactly. But somebody's going to come to me and say, how can I put music underneath my voice? Right here. Now then, if putting music underneath your voice is all you want to do, you can use the free version. You can pull this in, highlight the audio track, and drop some music over there like I did this, and you're done. If you want to start getting into this other stuff, it's very complex. We've been on this 45 minutes. Are there any questions or other comments?
Start over.
Start over. Thank you.
Hey,
It's not-
Greg, and I know that you've probably done some research on it too, but I've done a lot of research when it comes to videos and making videos. And actually, they say that putting your face or your voice in a video is more apt to get to more people, and more people will view it that way. And this makes it really easy for your voice to go in there.
Ding, ding,
Um,
ding. Yeah.
Does Canva have that ability to put the voice in?
Yeah.
It's not as easy. I'm liking this the more Greg shows, but you definitely can do that as well in Canva.
Can you do multiple tracks on the movie maker? Or iPhone?
Yes, yeah, it's set up a lot like this. I feel like now that Greg's gone through this a little bit, Movie Maker may be a little bit more difficult than this one, because it's not set up like all of your widgets and stuff on one side and all of the things that you can do. You got to do a little bit of digging for that. So this does make it very user friendly.
And let's see. Just because I showed you it has a lot of capabilities, you don't have to use it. Use a free version, record. I started last week with how to make a video. You guys remember that. Get your lighting right, get your sound right, get the background right. Here's why. If you've got a good video to start with, you don't have to do much of this. If your audio sucks, then you got to come in and edit it. If your background needs to be removed, you got to come in and edit it. Now, I could add some titles here if I wanted to, and you can do that. But for me, most of you will never use all the power that this thing has. And if you do, you're spending way too much time in front of a computer and not in front of your
Clients.
clients. So try a couple of the free ones. This was the easiest one I had, but try to start with a good product first, so you never have to do this stuff. So for example, I came in this room, I shut the doors, I put my microphone on, and it sounded pretty good in here. I didn't have to do a thing else to it. I was done. If you want to add just a title screen, you could do that. You could have a title that's got your name on it and that and be done. Don't try to get into all the fancy stuff it does, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. Okay. I'm going to quit sharing my screen. I'm going to say one more time, does anybody have any questions? Probably lots of questions, but not really, right?
Would you show me one, just the example of the microphone? Remember the one that had the two you had?
Do you want me to look that up for you?
Yes, please. So I can find, so I think
Sure.
that one's the.
I went to, we don't need Capwing up here. I went to Amazon.com, and you can search for cell phone wireless microphone. And there you
Here
go.
they are.
The only thing I'd be careful is one of these only has one microphone in it. One of them has two. And you can see the price on it right now is $22. Pretty cheap. If you want the kit with all the plugins, you can get it, but I would try to get the one that fits your phone. So like this one wireless, Bluetooth, lightning, and this has a lightning plug. So if you've got a USB, if you have an Android, the newer ones are USB-C. And then that comes up with that connection. Do you see what I'm talking about?
What,
You gotta be able to plug it into your phone correctly.
Right.
okay, hold on.
Sure.
So the microphone on the phone isn't sufficient?
Yeah, it is.
That's, it's okay, in my
Okay.
humble opinion.
If you want better, this is better.
Why is this better? The microphone's clipped right here. It's got a wind and pop protector on top.
Ah,
If you're outside in the wind, now it's a foam thing. It's not going to do everything, but it's going to do a lot more than your phone microphone will do. This one has two, or it's got, one's got one and one's got two. So if I'm talking to somebody, like Tracy, we could both have our own microphones instead of me trying to push the phone back and forth between us.
And you don't have to have the phone in your hand. close
Right.
up.
So if I got a microphone here, I can put the phone on a stand and walk away from it and do things because it's wireless. You can also get wired microphones like this, but I like the wireless one.
cool.
Other questions? Okay, then I'm going to end the stop the recording.
Bye, guys.
Bye all.